Hey everybody, now it's time to review the sequel to Fast and Furious, Too Fast, Too Furious. So, plot of this movie is after the events of the first movie, Brian gets arrested for participating in illegal street racing, and he wants to get his criminal record clear, and he's allowed to do that on one condition. He's assigned a mission to apprehend this drug lord, and he has and he is assigned has wants to be assigned a partner. So he reunites with his childhood friend Roman Pierce, played by Tyrese Gibson, who is also under arrest, who's under house arrest, that is, for Grand Theft Auto, and they both join together and try to clear their names and try to stop this drug lord and get their records clear. I thought this was a good sequel. It's not as good as the first Fast and Furious, I will say that, but for it was their first attempt at doing a sequel, so I guess they really had to do what they could. I thought the first one had a better story. Like, character-wise, I thought because Brian was the main character, and it showed, like, him testing his morality and really changing as a character. This, like, it didn't really have that big of a plot. It was kind of mostly just a buddy cop film, which that's fine. Like, if you want to do that, that's fine, because, like, it shows that Brian isn't just totally a criminal. Like, he still wants his redemption. So I really like that they explored that. It's a it's a good sequel, and like there's just like the first one, it's very small scale compared to the future movies. But that makes sense because back then, like, these movies weren't as effects heavy as they are now. Because nowadays, like I said, they do all those insane stunts. But here, like, it's very small scale. It's mostly just about crimes and such. But it was great to see Paul Walker back. I really liked seeing him again. Vin Diesel. Uh, I don't think Vin Diesel doesn't come back, but I mean, I guess it makes sense because he wasn't the main character until the last few movies. But it still had a good other cat. Other cast members were good too. Like Eva Mendes is in it, and I do like her. I mean, not everything she does is great, but I mean, she can do some good stuff. Ludacris, who actually became a surprisingly big part of the franchise. Like, for his first time here, I think he does okay. Like, I think he becomes more likable and funny in the other films. But here, like, for his first uh, introduction to this franchise, like, I think he's done well. And, like, they all have good interactions with each other. It's not as, like, humorous as like the future installments, like where the cast just works amazingly together. But like the cast works great. It's just, and like it tried to be something different. It just wasn't, about illegal street racing. It just wasn't about like someone trying to break the law when they're not supposed to. Like it's kind of a redemption story in a way. So I did like that they did that, and it still had some, cool car chases, and so it's very also just like the first one. It's pretty early 2000s esque, and you can tell like it had a really smaller scale because they were just starting this franchise. But it's a good sequel. I know a lot of people don't really like it. I know it's considered one of the weakest in the franchise. Like I don't know if is this one considered the worst. I don't know, but I still think it's good for what it is. Like if you enjoyed the first one, there will be definitely things in here you'll enjoy, and I think if you just want to watch all the movies, it's a good watch. Like just like the first one though, it's pretty short. Like this and the first were only like I don't know, like 100 minutes or so compared to the other movies. Like they have a lot more going for it. But yeah, I guess that makes sense because this one's more simpler. But it's a good movie. I think it's a pretty not a very underrated I wouldn't say underrated, but it definitely doesn't get talked about as much as, the other later installments. But I think it's a good movie, so. Yeah, Too Fast, Too Furious, I think it's a pretty good follow up, even though if it's inferior to the first, I still thought it was good, so. Later.